Hi farmmates, and welcome to our dosage lab class. So as you can see, I'm already wearing my laboratory gown and head cap. So I'll be also wearing my face mask, which is part of the personal protective equipment. Later I'll be wearing my gloves, but for now I'll be presenting to you the materials that you needed for the experiment. So please observe carefully. Okay, let's go. So here is my working table. So as you can see, I've prepared here the materials that I needed for this experiment. So first, I have here my alcohol for disinfection purposes. And this one is the container of our cornstarch. I have here my scoop for later's experiment. And then I have here my scissors, my cutter for later's cutting. And then scotch tape, paper towels. So this is the weighing balance I've purchased from Lazada, and I'll be using this plastic tray for weighing purposes. And I have here my markers for labeling later. I'll be using that. So I also have here my plastics. So this is where we will place our paper tabs later after we pack it in the bond paper and label it. So this is the final packaging that we will be using. And then this is the glass tile. So I'll be placing here later the weighed cornstarch, and I have here my spatula. So I've bought this in the grocery. It is similar with the spatula that we have in the laboratory. So we will be using the glass tile and this spatula for the block and divide method. And I have here my gloves as well, the one bond paper, and lastly, so we have here our disposal container. So all waste that I will be generating in this experiment will be placed here before I throw it in the garbage bin later. Okay, so let us now start. So I will first disinfect my hand with alcohol. Okay, before I will be wearing the gloves. I already washed my hand with soap and water before I start preparing the materials I needed for this experiment. So this gloves is powder free. So I bought it from the drugstore. Okay. So this one is a powder free gloves. After that, I need to disinfect my hand to be sure. So I'll be also using alcohol for disinfection. So wait for it to be dried before you prepare the paper for the paper tabs. Okay, it's already dried. So we have here our band paper. We'll be only using this one piece of band paper. So you need to fold it by half and then fold it another. Okay. Then after that, so you have here your 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then divide it by half. Okay. So let us now start cutting our bond paper. So be careful when using paper cutter. Okay, so we have this part. So we'll keep this one later. It is excess. So we have here 4 pieces of cut papers. So we need to. So it is sufficient now. So I already have another 4. also cutting it. Be very careful when you're cutting. Fold it like this one. Fold the 8 pieces of bond paper. So all materials to be used, or all clean materials, will be placed on the right side, and on the left side will be all the waste and the finished product. Okay, so I'll be just placing it here for later's packaging procedure. Okay, so we are now weighing. So I have here my cornstarch. So I have here my scoop, my digital weighing balance, and my container. So first, ensure that the top of your weighing balance is clean, so you wipe it with tissue before you start it. Then press on. So as you can see in this video, yeah, so it is already on the 0.001. So I'll be putting this plastic container. So it weighs 2.83. So I have to tare. So to become 0, then I'll be weighing around 3 grams of cornstarch. So one scoop first. Let's see what is the weight. So it is already 2.70 grams. So I just need to add a smaller volume or smaller amount to reach the desired weight. So 2.91. 2.97. A little more. Okay, so 3.01. So we can accept that 3.01. Okay, so we're already done with weighing. We need to cover it and place it here. Okay. Oh, it's already 3.04. So we need to reduce the weight. So we got it. So we have your 3 grams of cornstarch. Okay, so we now have here our weighed 3 grams of cornstarch and our glass tile and our spatula. So first you need to disinfect it with alcohol. So disinfect it with alcohol before you start. Ensure that it is well dried before you start with the experiment. So as I told you, observe one way of disinfection. done. So I dispose it here in the disposal container. So let us start. So you need to place all your powders here. Okay, and then after that, you do the black and divide. So for this experiment, you will be preparing at least 6 paper tabs, okay? Don't forget that. So you'll be preparing 6 paper tabs. So we need to do black and divide in order to assure that the powder is equally divided. Okay, as you can see, we have here excess powder, so we still need to do black and divide to ensure that the powders are equally distributed before we divide it. Okay, so we now have here a perfect square and we need to divide it into 6. So 1 and 2. Then divide into half. Okay, so this is the block and divide method. So would you want to see it again? Okay, so we need to mix it again and do it. First, create a square. Then after creating a square, you can now divide it into 6. And we can now unpack it in our white bond paper. So I have here the white bond paper that I cut and folded a while ago. So I will just get 6 of it. So we'll now be starting. So I have here the paper and I'll be transferring the powders one by one. have the powder. Okay. So So the purpose why we left here a space because we need to fold that. Okay. After folding, you need to fold this by three parts. So you need to fold it by 3 parts. So fold it. So remember, fold it one, then fold it another one to secure that the paper tabs. Then fold it into 3. So 1, 2, and then we have now the 3. Okay. So 3 parts, and then you fold it. So you closed it by putting it inside the other part. Okay, so this is paper, the first paper tab, and you will be doing the same with the others. So fold, then fold by 3. And lock. Okay, so this is paper tabs number 2, and do the same thing with the other 4. Okay. Down to the last piece. Paper tabs, and then we now have our marker, so we'll be labeling it so the patient may know what is the content of this paper tab. So it depends on the prescribed medications given by the patient, so what you will be labeling on these paper tabs. But for now, for demonstration, so we'll just be labeling it with cornstarch. After labeling, so we will pack it in our plastic. So we have here our plastic, but before that we need to label it using a permanent marker. So you can write here cornstarch, and number of pieces, 6 pieces. Okay, so cornstarch number 6, and you can write also here for demonstration purposes, you can write here your name. So I'll be writing my name, but in practice you can write the name of the patient, but for our demonstration you'll just be writing our name. So don't forget your name and your section. Okay, for example, PM 201. Okay, then we can now place our cornstarch here. Or yeah, we'll change our packaging. Again, don't forget to write your name. Okay, so you can write it here, or you can put it first in the plastic before writing everything. Scotch tape it. So we have here a scotch tape. So this one. Then you can now start writing your name on it. Now here our paper tabs. Okay, but before leaving, ensure that you disinfect first your working area. So wipe it first, wipe the spatula that you used, and your working area, wipe it first. Okay, put it on the waste container. ensure cleanliness is observed before leaving the working area, so that on the next experiment or for the turn of the next person, the materials that he will be using is not contaminated with the previous product. Okay? And then throw it on the bin. Then don't forget to remove now your gloves. For removing the gloves, so you can observe this process so that you will not be holding the unclean part. Then place it on the waste bin. We're done. You now have your paper tabs. Okay? Thank you. And I hope you learn how to do paper tabs. Have a great day, everyone.